Chapter 26. In the OCP tower, a very composed Dick Jones stood at the head of the board table, next to the old man, addressing the gathered board members. The police strike was in the headlines across the country. Those headlines translated into bad press for Omnicon. Jones was doing his best to finesse the situation. "As far as I'm concerned, they can strike forever," Jones sneered. "I've got a 209 model downstairs guarding the building now. By the end of the week, we can have more in place all over the city." The old man seemed to consider this. "But what about the publicity, Dick? We don't want to seem heartless." Jones sighed. He'd have to be very long-winded about all of this, very circuitous. What the hell, he had the time. Outside the building, Robo guided the battered turbocruiser to the curb. He patted the shepherd on the head. "I won't be long," he said. He eased himself out of the car and stood next to the driver's door. He came face to face with Ed 209. The Olympian robot marched slowly towards the cruiser, his cannon arms upraised. "Your vehicle is illegally parked on private property. You have 15 seconds to..." Robo reached into the front seat, slid the Cobra AC out, and with one hand fired point blank at the lumbering killing machine. Thwap! Ed 209 looked down at his chest cavity as a neat 20mm hole appeared as if by magic. Suddenly, Ed 209's body began gyrating wildly, the twist bullet burying itself deeper and deeper within his insides. The lumbering droid jitterbugged through the tower's statue garden, mashing several statues into smithereens, before exploding. Robo ducked as the debris flew over the cruiser. The dog inside watched the scene placidly. When the smoke cleared, all that was left of Ed 209 were his elephantine feet, still standing in place. Robo marched up the front stairs leading into the tower. In the boardroom, Dick Jones was still practicing his finesse. "In the last few days of crisis, this corporation has lived up to the guiding principles of its founder." He nodded towards the old man. The old man smiled and nodded in return. "Courage, strength, conviction," Jones said in neo-biblical tones. "Well, if I have anything to say about it, and rumor has it I might, we will continue to meet each new challenge with the same aggressive attitude that has governed this corporation over the years. We will adhere to the credo of shit." The double doors to the room splintered inward. Robocop marched into the room. The executives gasped, terrified at the sight of this rogue product. One man grabbed for a phone. "Please," Robo cautioned. "Don't." The man pulled back his hand. Only the old man seemed to maintain his composure. "How may we help you, officer?" he asked. Robo considered this. The 4 prime directives flashed through his mind. Directive 1, serve the public trust. Directive 2, uphold the law. Directive 3, protect the innocent. Directive 4, classified. The 4th directive began to flash. Robo concentrated and willed them away. He didn't need the directives right now. He was a cop, a good cop. He bowed slightly before standing at attention before the old man. Dick Jones is under suspicion of murder, conspiracy, and aiding and abetting a known felon. The old man didn't react. Unfortunately, Robo continued, my program does not allow me to act against an officer of this company. Jones spun towards the old man. This is absurd, preposterous. This man is a violent mechanical psychopath wanted by the police. The old man ignored Jones and, standing, looked Robo directly in the eye. These are serious charges. Do you have evidence? Yes, sir. Robo walked to the center of the boardroom table. Making a fist, he extended the terminal strip from his knuckles and shoved it into a computer access port on the table. The overhead video monitors in the boardroom crackled to life. The figure of Dick Jones, glaring down at the camera's eye, smiled stonily. I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. You. Now, I think it's about time I erased the mistake. The executives in the room uttered a collective gasp. Jones stared at the faces around him. He gaped at the old man. The old man's eyes were hard and flinty. At that point, 2 Omnicon security guards burst into the room, guns drawn. Hold it, Robo! One of them yelled. No! The old man yelled. It was too late. The 2 guards charged Robo. The cyborg tried to be gentle but firm. He tapped one of them in the stomach with his mighty fist, effectively knocking the wind out of him. He tossed the other one along the top of the boardroom table. Both men dropped their guns during their gymnastics. Jones saw his chance and took it. He dove for a gun, palmed it, and came up firing. The board members dove under their table. Only the old man remained standing firm, looking at Jones with distaste. Jones fired again and again at Robo. The bullets pinged harmlessly off his chest. Robo sighed. Come on, Dick. Jones stopped firing. He was not on a roll here. Thinking quickly, he grabbed the old man and pushed the executive before him as a shield. Jones placed the barrel of the gun next to the old man's forehead. Okay, Tin Man, I want a chopper, now! We will calmly go to the roof. I will board the chopper with my hostage. Anyone tries to stop me, the old man gets it. The old man stood there, simmering. Dick? What? You're fired! Robo stared at Jones. He summoned up the prime directives. Only the first 3 flashed through his mind. The old man chose that second to stomp his heel into Jones's instep. The elderly executive elbowed his former executive hard in the gut. Jones gasped as the old man leaped away. Robo smiled at Jones. Jones was fired. He was no longer an employee of the company. So much for the 4th directive. Jones aimed his gun at the retreating old man. Robo blinked, lapsed into targeting mode, and, pulling his auto-9, squeezed off 4 quick shots. The first 2 shots took Jones by surprise, knocking him spinning towards the large window stretching the length of the table. The third shot shattered the glass. The fourth shot hit Jones smack in the chest, sending him hurtling through the massive window. A howling wind sliced through the boardroom as Jones, howling almost as loud, glided 151 stories to the ground. Robo gave his Auto-9 a western spin and slid it back into his holster. He nodded towards the old man, turned and walked for the exit. The old man rushed forward, placing a hand on Robo's elbow. Robo turned. The old man was smiling. "You're a credit to the force, young man. That was marvelous shooting. What's your name?" Robo thought for a moment. "Murphy," he said, and walked out of the room.